What do you think? Where is more sugar? In lemons or in strawberries? Well, any normal person will think strawberries are sweeter, but in fact, sugar content in lemons is twice as high than in strawberries. We don't feel sugar in lemons because they are citric acid. That's why we don't feel sugar. Hi friends, I'm Ibra. In this video, I have collected the most interesting and unusual facts about foods that we all eat and never suspect. Watch this video until the end, it will be very interesting. Subscribe to my channel, click on the bell, and let's go! All the banana varieties that are sold in the store are clones. There are literally over 1,000 banana varieties around the world, and they are all clones of the Cavendish variety, which is seedless variety. And that's the whole point, because nobody wants to eat a banana that has a seed. And so what scientists have done is they've taken that particular variety and they've started to produce additional varieties based on it. And there is a risk in that, because if an infection attacks bananas, it could wipe out every species on the planet Earth. But it's better not to think about that. You probably heard that there is such a thing as sea salt, and its producers assure that it's more healthy and useful. In fact, it's not. Sea salt is absolutely identical to regular table salt and doesn't differ. It has exactly the same composition and the same sodium content, and the only difference is that in regular table salt it often added iodine. They added specifically for the prevention of iodine deficiency in the population. Thus, ordinary table salt can be even more useful than sea salt. But what is the fundamental difference between sea salt and ordinary salt? In fact, the fundamental difference is only one. It's the method of production. Sea salt is produced, as you might guess, from the sea by evaporating water. And ordinary salt is produced from the salt mines. The following fact made me even think a little bit. Do you eat food that contains red color? I mean any candy or products containing red color, that is a red dye. If yes, then most likely you eat beetles, because the red dye is extracted from them. The so-called cochineal beetles are the main raw material for the production of red dyes. It's certainly not the only one, but is the most popular. And by the way, many vegetarians even refuse to eat various red candies which contain these dyes, because it turns out that in fact it violates the vegetarian standards. But nevertheless, I hasten to reassure you, this dye is still harmless and you can eat it. Nothing terrible will happen. Where is the most vitamin C? In fruits or vegetables? Most likely when we think of vitamin C, we think of citrus fruits. Orange, lemon, grapefruit, and so on. Yes, indeed, citrus fruits are very high in vitamin C, but they are not the record holder at all. For example, bell peppers, because the content of vitamin C in bell peppers is already 1.5 times more. Although bell peppers come in different colors, yellow, green, and red. Which of them has the most vitamin C? Most vitamin C in red bell peppers. So, if you have a deficit of this vitamin, it's the first thing you need to eat. Do you like sushi? Many of us like sushi and also like wasabi. But the thing is that most of us have probably never eaten real wasabi, because what we are served in restaurants or sold in stores is not real wasabi. It's just horseradish with some mustard, coloring and flavoring agents added to it. And the thing is that real wasabi is quite difficult and expensive to produce. And even in Japan, it's not so easy to find. And in most cases, they use the same dilution of horseradish. Although honestly, I would still like to try real wasabi. I wonder what it tastes like. You and I have all heard that the heat treatment of food kills most vitamins and minerals. But how can this be avoided in order to preserve vitamins and minerals? It's necessary to heat food as briefly as possible and as little as possible adding water. That is, cooking is not suitable. Yes, it is. And the most rational way in terms of minerals and vitamins is, oddly enough, the microwave. With the microwave, you heat your vegetables and will not kill vitamins and minerals. Well, some part of course you will kill, but in the microwave this part will be minimal. Also, when you cook food in the microwave, it's recommended to cover it to create a certain greenhouse, and it all will allow you to save the maximum amount of nutrients. You and I know that milk can be stored for different amounts of time. Some packages are stored for a week and some are stored for 3 or 4 months. So many believe that is due to adding additional preservatives. Allegedly, if you add more preservatives, then milk will be stored for several months. But in fact, it's not so. And all the matter is in the heating technology. The milk that is stored for more than 100 days is subjected to special heating. In special installations, it's heated to a temperature above boiling point, but for a very short time and immediately cooled. As a result, all possible bacteria that provoke product deterioration are killed, and it will stand longer. So it's not about adding chemical elements, but about heat treatment. Did you know that coconut milk can be used as a blood substitute? Of course, this is not the best way, but in special cases, it's possible in principle. And the whole point is that coconut milk has a perfect pH, and it can be used as a blood plasma substitute. In addition, as it turned out, coconut milk is absolutely sterile, and therefore it will not provoke blood poisoning. And generally speaking, coconut milk is used by the palm itself as food for its fetus. Although certainly don't consider this fact as an instruction to action, but nevertheless, it's interesting. In Scandinavian countries, they are very fond of eating rotten fish. But not just any rotten fish, but special fish that is specially rotten and is their national delicacy in Ireland. For example, there is a popular dish called hakarl, a dish made of rotten shark meat. And in Sweden, for example, there is such a dish as surströmming, which is nothing else than a sour herring. I honestly don't know whether all Scandinavians eat these products or it's a gimmick for rare fans. But nevertheless, these dishes do exist there. What product do you think keeps the longest? In fact, there is one unique product that scientists believe can be stored for 3,000 years. And I didn't misspell. Indeed, the shelf life of 3,000 years, and this product is honey. In fact, even if you buy a jar of honey, it will be written on expiration date, it's not limited. According to scientists, real, pure, not anything diluted honey can be stored for 3,000 years. Amazing. So friends, write in the comments below which of these products surprised you most. For me, it was honey, really. Also, you can watch my other video where I talk about our body. The video is already on your screen. Also, if you like this video, then press like button and see you on my other videos.